Salesforce Connections in Chicago, Verenigde Staten, staan we hier met Kirkpatrick van de Futurum Group. Hij is Research Director, als ik het goed zeg. I'm going to switch to English. Can you explain what did you decide to come over to Chicago?
Sure. Well, as part of my job, Salesforce is one of my clients, and I also cover the enterprise software market. So this is a great opportunity for me to get some face time with executives, to learn more about their products and services, and of course, talk with others who are covering the company, whether it's reporters such as yourself or other analysts. But I certainly feel that actually being on site really is much better than just sitting on a Zoom.
But you do, basically the job you do in your daily life is like analyzing their products, right?
Yeah, it's really a couple of things. One is certainly analyzing their products and services, trying to understand what their overall business strategy is long term. And then of course, because they are a client, we do provide advisory services to them as well.
How do you experience what they announced here on the connections, like the agentic AI, which seems to be a big thing, right?
Yeah, it is a big thing. Yeah, I think there's a couple layers. One is, of course, Salesforce has been one of those companies that has really kind of been a leader in terms of trying to highlight the impact of agentic technology. We've seen it with Service Cloud, we've seen it with Commerce Cloud, and now of course Marketing, and of course their Marketing Cloud Next product, which is the new thing that they're announcing, which is pretty interesting to me because it's really taking away, or the promise of it is taking away sort of the drudgery, the repetitive tasks that really just don't make anyone who's working in marketing happy. It takes them away from what they really want to do, which is just focus on strategy, focusing on message development, and I think that can have a real impact.
But you also test or try these products?
Every now and then we do get access to try it out. Certainly down on the floor we take a look at things. The other thing that I think is interesting is my company is actually a Salesforce customer, so we use the product every day. I use it every day. And the takeaway I have here is a lot of the challenge with any type of CRM software, really any type of enterprise software, it's how do you take information that's up here, get it into the system efficiently, and then even more importantly, how do you extract it in a way that it makes sense, and so you're not just poring over or staring at screens. I mean, I think we're getting to that point where the idea is let's remove as much friction as possible from the data that you're collecting or they're using or generating, and then actually putting it to work.
Who do you think in the market should have a bit of fear? Like they kind of also present themselves as like all-in-one solution. So who is now like having some nerves, do you think?
I don't think anyone would characterize it as having nerves, because there's a lot of companies out there that are doing this. We can look at companies like ServiceNow, we can look at SAP, we can look at Oracle, even Google, that are offering a lot of sort of the same types of features and functions, and even smaller companies out there like Zendesk, HubSpot from the marketing angle.
I meant a little bit more on the more like, this is all US companies you're mentioning.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean more like in the other the smaller countries. You think that small agencies may be in danger or something, because then you get everything with one American company?
Yes and no, because the other thing is, and they will admit it, Salesforce is a premium product that comes at a premium price. In order to extract the maximum value from Salesforce, you really need to be purchasing quite a bit of their
you need scale.
Offerings in order to make it worthwhile. That's their value prop, is that they are a platform company. But in order to really extract that value, you need to have Sales Cloud, Data Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Commerce Cloud, all of that.
Yeah, that's not told in the presentations. Yeah.
So as a result, if you're a smaller organization, you may not have a need for all of that, and you might be able to do financially better by looking at more of a point solution that is priced more appropriately.
And or they also do through representatives. They say they have open systems, so that's also possible if I understand well.
You could certainly, I mean, that is one of their message points. Is that okay? Let's say you use sales, the CRM product, but you maybe maybe have a CDP from another company. They are definitely focused on being open and ensuring data exchange to and from, and then of course as they build out their agentic strategy to also allow agents to communicate through, whether it's through MCP or ADA or whatnot.
And you think, to go back to the product, what they presented, like you could buy a car, whatever brand it is, that you go at the end, you end up on a website and you get like a really transactional, bi-directional way of communication. That the website transforms itself into what you want, and it gets a response, and you get emails. You can also respond. You get like feedback. Is that gonna be like the new normal into doing commerce?
I think that is the goal. I don't think that happens right away, because if you think about a lot of these industries, there have been a very, very sort of traditional way of doing business. Let's use the car example. It makes a lot of sense to say, if I go to purchase a new vehicle, I may want to ask questions that I might even see in the text there. It says it has this V6 engine. I might want to confirm. And in that sense, it is very useful, because it's almost like talking to a human, where you might even know the answer, you're just trying to confirm. The challenge is whether or not there will be an uplift in terms of the overall transaction because of that. And are you measuring that? Are you measuring overall customer experience? Are you measuring, customer success? Whatever the metric is, that's going to be the question of whether or not that, all of this agentic technology, that actual two-way interaction actually drives that.
And final thing, the human aspect, you just mentioned it a little bit, like the human aspect.
Yeah.
When people want to buy a car, they want to maybe try the car with a person also, and talk to a person. How is that relating then with all these, AI, agentic, and next level technologies? They try to be more human, but without the human at the end for the customer. How do you see that?
I think there are, depending on the use case in industry, there will be certain limits, meaning that you may have agentic technology that takes you 30% of the way there, 50%, 80%, and then maybe in some cases all the way there. But really, it's about understanding at what point do you need to have that human. A great example is when you're trying to bridge the digital world to the physical world, like a car buying experience. You want to go out and test drive. They might take you all the way there, down that funnel where you go, okay, I know I want to get this new car, it has these options, and then they'll say, great, we will find a dealer that has that car with those options, set up your appointment, connect you with an agent, and then have you come in. That could be one excellent use case for that, because it's taking the challenge out of trying to configure, and then hopefully pointing you to the right dealer, so you're not calling 30 dealers going, do you have it in the package that I wanted? So in that sense, it's certainly, there's a lot of value, but the question remains, what other use cases will it work that way? And then in the end, does implementing all this technology, which is not free, will it generate a significant return on investment above what they're already doing?